Into the Badlands, a show that you may or may not have heard of. A show about power, love, redemption, and over-the-top action. And to be honest, it's personally one of my favorite shows of all time. Don't ask me why, there isn't really much to praise about it other than the fighting choreography, but as soon as I saw that lore and the environment, I was absolutely hooked. Wanna give it a shot? No worries, Dice here, and I'm gonna give you everything you need to know about Into the Badlands. So, Into the Badlands is set in a post-dystopian, post-apocalyptic world. It's like, the world kinda sucks, but there's still, like, no zombies yet or anything. That means most, if not all technology, electricity, firearms, those are out the window. That's right, we're going old school sword action, baby. But first, let's talk about what happens in the Badlands, shall we? So in the Badlands, power and order is still kept, but instead of countries with leaders, there are these factions and they're run by barons. You see, a baron is like a mixture of a dictator and a slave master, so they're not really loved. They own a portion of the land inside the Badlands, and within that land there's some sort of tradable substance, like oil, opium, or as Quinn says, poppy crop.
Poppy crop will spoil.
Now, barons trade with other barons to keep peace among the Badlands. So, what could possibly go wrong with that idea, right? So, one of the things that this show does is it uses different types of vocabulary to define a person's status and occupation. I mean, seriously, they could have just used the terms that we use now, but this is Into the Badlands we're talking about, so they're gonna be a little different. For example, and for the basic terminology that I can find, cogs are slaves, dolls are prostitutes, clippers are the army, cogs are the army in training, and a regent is the captain of all the clippers, and the right hand to the baron. You got all that? Cool, cause we are not done yet. There are also a group of people that live inside the Badlands, but outside the jurisdiction of a baron. One of these groups are usually identified as nomads. They pillage, raid, and kill for profit. Bad guys. Just stay away from them. There's also these nice religious folk who wear white and have action figures, and yeah, they're there too. Now there are also some other people that live outside of Baron jurisdiction, but I'll just let that be a surprise. Outside the Badlands is, well, a lot of mystery, and a barren wasteland, and more mystery. Seriously, nobody knows what really lies outside of the Badlands, but we just hear it multiple times that it's just things that aren't good. But one of the biggest mysteries about what happens outside of the Badlands is a location of a utopia called Azura, a place where everybody lives in peace and is located far outside of where the Badlands are located. So far, in fact, that people deem it as a myth and people don't even try to go there. The story follows Sunny, regent to Quinn, who is the most hated baron in the Badlands because he has the largest territory, the largest exports, and the coolest looking weapon in all of the Badlands.
And he's a total douche.
Anyway, one day, Sunny finds MK, the moving plot, and ironically the worst part about this show. He finds him locked away in a trunk by nomads. So, Sunny does what Sunny does best. Frees MK and takes him to be a cog. Sunny later finds out that MK has a special power that he can't control, and he wants to go to Azura to see his mother because he's a mama's boy? I don't know, man, he's just an awful character. Coincidentally, Sunny wants to get out of the Badlands as well for his own personal reasons. And there's also a lot of stuff regarding Quinn and his family, some of the other barons. Like there's one baron called the Widow, and there's some stuff about Azura, and there's the guy from Don't Breathe. What's really throughout the show, many things will become uncovered. You learn more about MK and his powers, Sunny and his motives to leave the Badlands behind, and the corrupt leaders and their hatred for one another. And that's everything you need to know about Into the Badlands. And guys, the action scenes in this movie are incredible. Just like, look at that. Look, did you see what they just did? Like, oh my, watch the show.